Blog Talk Radio.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Lord knows it's so sincere. I gave my heart to you. When my problems disappear. Where do I go? Which way to turn? Preacher man said hell is hot and now I wanna burn. I listen to learn all of my steps. I'ma get the letter weight so I bench press. Bless, took the B and you miss. The streets keep calling so I put him on the blacklist. I once was blind, but now I see. Boss the man, I'm on bending knee. Who can I trust? Who can I believe? God got my name on the blessing that I must receive. So much more to achieve, so much more I can be. So much you've done for me, you promised to never leave. Forsake me, you gave me hope. You said yes when the rest said no. So I pray not to bow to myself as I walk through the shadows of death. Where do I go? I've been patiently waiting for you to stop by here and check on me. Ooh, it get hard sometimes, but I know you never leave. So tell me, where do we go from here?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Walking His Ways Impact Voice. I'm your host, Furman Jackson, broadcasting you again live from the city of Mobile, Alabama, my hometown. And I have a very special guest that's on the broadcast this evening. You're gonna get to meet this amazing woman, the things she's doing, her passion, her drive to be the best that she can be. Before I get started in today's broadcast, I just want to share something, a motivational quote out of the book of The Alchemist. This is an awesome book. If you never heard about it, I encourage you to look it up. And this is something important I want to share with the audience when we get into the interview. It says this: it's what you all always want to accomplish. Everyone, when they are young, knows what their personal legend is. At that point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and to young for everything they would like to see happen to them in their lives. And we all have that personal legacy, legend that we are, because we were made in the image of the Most High Yah, of course. And everybody is striving to reach that place in their lives. But I'm not going to prolong the process. I'm going to get ready to get in. I'm about to get ready to bring my guest in, Miss McMillan. Welcome to Impact Voice.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Thank you for taking time to be scared to be a part of the broadcast. We'll get right into the interview. So my first question is, who is Q Lasha McMillan?
That's such a hard question because I'm a lot of things. It's like, if I had to sum it up though, I'm a passionate person. I'm a mom, a single mom. I'm an artist, an R&B artist. I'm a writer. I'm a lover. I'm just somebody who was built a bad hand in life and is trying to, inspire other people and let them see my life as I journey through it and get through the hard times that I have. Everything that I do, my platform now is definitely to bring awareness to mental health and mental illnesses. And because it doesn't have a face, you know what I'm saying? We always feel like people who have mental illnesses look a certain way. They don't. I have my own struggle, and I'm showing it to my fans and my supporters. So, Cuba Say is a boss. Cuba Say is an amazing woman.
And also, and then like I said, working on being doing greatness in the making, and that strive and that perseverance. And I know that you're from your native of Pritchard, Alabama, and we know that Pritchard is known for portraying the media as a lot of negative, violent crimes, things like that. Let the listening audience know, how was your experience growing up in Pritchard, Alabama?
It wasn't, as a kid, we didn't really know about all of that. So it wasn't as bad. Well, it could have been as bad as it is now with, the crime and stuff like that, which is why we did eventually end up moving and leaving there when I was like 8 or 9 years old. But really, my whole entire family on both sides grew up there, lived there, I had a granddaddy, R.C. McMillan, who had a barbecue shop in Pritchard, McMillan's Barbecue. And so we used to go in there and pick out whatever we wanted. We would like treat it like princesses and stuff like that because that was our granddaddy. We had fun growing up. It wasn't we didn't look at Pritchard as like this horrible place, you know. And but there was a lot of crime. There was a lot going on, especially on my street, Middle Avenue, where I grew up at. So my mom was like, "Yeah, it's time to go. It's definitely time to move." But Pritchard it made me. I'll never take away from Pritchard or Mobile what it did for me and the person that it made me. It's just a mindset that I have now. So, yeah.
Okay, then. And my next question is, I know you said in your bio that you was in a single parent household. How was your experience growing up in a single parent household?
I didn't have the best childhood at all. And I was being very open about that, especially recently. I want to say in April, I opened up to my fans and supporters and those who tune in to me that I endured sexual abuse as a child by my father. So that was hard. Not even just the single parent part of not having him in my life, but just to endure that alone was very, very difficult. It is the reason why I do want to pursue music. It's the reason why I did start to write, because writing was super like therapeutic for me growing up because I couldn't really, because of the situation, couldn't really talk to many people. My mom did put me in counseling when I was little because of that. But it just wasn't, for a child, it's just a lot of emotions that you can't sort through and you don't understand. So writing was like something that just really helped me get through. I would get a little journal and just write what I was feeling, and that was like my diary, and I could vent and do that. So it was definitely hard. I got to grow up and my friends like have their dads and I didn't have my dad in life. So that was kind of hard. That was definitely hard. But like I say with the whole Christian thing, like it made me who I am. And it's hard every day. I'm not gonna say it's easy at all, but it definitely shaped me, and I wouldn't change my life and my upbringing for nothing.
That's good stuff. That's real, yeah. And my next question is, how did your musical influence come about?
My musical influences, the first one that I can remember would be Brandy. That was my first CD. Brandy was my first CD. So I just remember listening to her. I think it was the Full Moon album in my bunk bed, and I just remember listening to it like. Brandy was like that girl back in the day, though. You know what I'm saying? She was on Moesha.
Yeah.
Like, every young girl, I feel like, wanted to be like her. And so when I listened to her album, it made me want to be a singer. And then the next one was Michael Jackson. When I watched his live stuff, that made me want to be an entertainer. And then Kiki Wyatt was another one, which I opened up for her last year, which was really cool. I always knew I wanted to be. I battled back and forth between wanting to be like an entertainer or just a writer, writing books, writing stories, writing plays, writing movies. So writing is was a big part of passion, but that's how it came about. Brandy is always and forever going to be my favorite singer, and so many people sleep on her. Like,
Also, my next question is, you've stated in your bio that you auditioned for NBC The Voice. How was that experience back in 2014?
The Voice was an incredible experience for me. I was super nervous and scared. I was like, how old was I? Like 21. I want to say I was 21. It was back in 2014. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. By then, American Idol had been on for so long. We all grew up watching that. But The Voice, I felt like I liked the way that they, did the show with the whole turning the chairs around, and they went off your voice, not how you look on the outside. So I went to New Orleans for the first one, the initial audition. It was an all-day thing. Luckily, I didn't have my son at that time, so I had to worry about him being there all day. But we were there all day, and we went from room to room, just waiting around. We finally went to this huge room, with like a conference room type situation. And they had producers, or just one producer, and we all stood up one by one and sung. And I was the only one in my room that stayed. It was like, you stay, everybody else goes. And the man, he like pulled up my YouTube right in front of me, and he was like, all right, well, sing this, and sing this, and sing this, and sing this. I was in there forever. I was like, oh my God, like, can you tell me if I made it on the show or not? Because I'm ready to go. I was hungry. I was like, I'm ready to go. But in my mind, I'm like, just hold together, because what if you make it? And he was like, yeah, you made it to the next round. So then they had you come back. I had to come back to New Orleans, I want to say like 3 days later. And I was late coming because I really didn't think I was going to be able to go just because of a lot of reasons that was going on at that time. But I made it up there, but we made it late, and so I didn't get to the next round, which would have been flying out to L.A. And being on the actual show. So I beat myself up a lot about that, but, you know, like I said, with all the other questions, like every part of my journey really has made me who I am, and it's made me think the way that I think now. So I just look at it as it wasn't the time, and God has something else for me. So it was a good experience, though. It was definitely a good experience. I know American Idol is coming here to Mobile soon, and a lot of people have been sending me the links to do it. But I kind of just feel like that's not the route I'm supposed to take. I'm going to have to pray on that. But, yeah, it was a good experience. It was definitely a good experience.
Awesome. And I know back in 2018, you opened up for R&B recording our Kiki Wyatt. How was that experience, and what advice did she give you to advance in your music career?
Well, Kiki Wyatt came super late, so I was waiting around for her for a long time. When she finally got there, I went to dance out. Like I said, and I had did another interview with, what is the name of it? It's in Mobile. I think it's 107.3 The Beat now with Ariel Monet. I had did an interview previous to me open up for her, and I spoke into existence. She asked me about, me, being inspired by Kiki Wyatt. And I spoke into existence. I want to meet her, and then it just so happened to the next year, a couple of months later, really, I was able to open up for her. It was a good experience watching her live, somebody that I've looked up to, I've always admired, from R&B divas to just the songs that we all know with her and Blunt. And I wasn't able to really have a one-on-one. I did take pictures with her afterwards. Unfortunately, there wasn't any advice that she gave me because she was kind of in and out. But just her vibe and her energy was really great. It was just good to be in the same room as somebody that you look up to. So I've always, put that on my checklist as I got to meet. Next is Brandy. I was going to put that into this because I want Brandy to be the next person to meet. But Kiki Wyatt was amazing. So it was a good experience.
That is, because the Bible do say, speak those things to be those they were. So you speak those things, eventually they do come to pass. My next question is, I know you stated also in your bio, you said you hate a 9 to 5. Explain to the listeners what that means.
Well, I was going to say hate because, obviously I've worked a ton of them in my lifetime, and I know that a lot of other people do. I don't want to say I hate 9 to 5, but I know that that's definitely not for me. I definitely agree with or believe in working until you're able to get where you want to go. But me clocking in and clocking out on somebody else, clock, I can't. That's just not for me. I've never seen that for myself. I, grew up and come from a family of entrepreneurs. So that's just kind of, it's in my bloodline. It's just kind of always been in the, the cards for me. So I don't want to say, let's reword that right now. Let's just say I need to go and change that. I don't want to say I hate 9 to 5, so I don't want people to get offended by it. That's just not something that I want to do or see myself doing. I want to be able to just work for myself and create my own schedule and just not put a cap on what I can make to be able to provide for me and my family. So let's just say I don't really want to do it.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that because everybody have different paths and different journeys they have to go on, and everybody ain't meant to be an entrepreneur, and everybody not meant to work for someone else. God gave everybody different gifts and exports in life to pursue here on the earth. Yeah. So I encourage anybody find your why, find what you do love to do, what's your passion, what keeps you up at night, what keeps you motivated. I think they say whether you don't get paid for it or not, that's something you love to do. So strive to find out where you want to be at in life, and God will make way. Keep Him first. And my next question is, how do you want to leave your legacy?
I want to leave my legacy. I want people to really understand and know my story and what I was trying to get across with my music and opportunities like this, with interviews and stuff like that. Like I said, my whole platform now is kind of as I grow and I mature, my platform and my message kind of it's the same, but it evolves. It kind of changes. So, like I said, right now I'm really focusing on mental health and mental illness. I want to kind of use my platform to shed light on that. Me being an African American woman, I know that in the African American community, we're not so educated on the topic of mental health, and we tend to think that it has a face, and that people who are mentally ill or suffer from mental illnesses look a certain way. And I want to show my fans and my supporters that I suffer from depression and anxiety really, really bad because of the childhood trauma and the things that I've endured in my life. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You don't have to continue to suffer alone. When I opened up about my father molesting me and a lot of other things that I went through, a lot of girls, I can't even tell you how many girls wrote me and said, Q, oh my God, I've been through this, I've been through that. I've never talked about it. I've never told anybody. And a lot of times with stuff like that, you tend to want to shy away and shut down and don't talk about it. But that's how we self-destruct. You know, we tend to take out that hurt because we've been hurt. We take it out on other people. Just, you know, through our relationships, with our professional life, or when we have kids, we can't really be the best parents that we can be. And after this year, oh my God, like 2019 has put up and down emotional roller coaster for me. Just because I had to face a lot of things about myself that I wasn't ready, or I thought I wasn't ready to face, you know. But you have to be honest with yourself before you're honest with anybody else in your life, always. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I thank God that I'm at a place where I'm healing from it finally at 26 from something that happened when I was 3. And, you know, a lot of times, too, we're like, oh, I'm good, I'm over it, I'm good, but you can't really say that because you're not. You know, you have to deal with that stuff. And the only way that you can is by opening up. You don't have to run and tell everybody, you know, because we know how it is. People just, you know, you can't trust everybody. But if you have somebody that you can trust, a pastor or a best friend or a family member that you can trust, or if he's right, like I did, I was able to get a journal and write, and then obviously eventually that turned into me singing songs and stuff like that. But you have to find a way to get that out. I even heard Tyler Perry say that, like, tell everybody that you can. Of course, people that you trust, but you have to talk about it and get through it. That's how you begin the healing. So, you know, there's so many people you walk around, you pass every day that deals with suicidal thoughts and depression and anxiety and bipolar disorder, and we think that it, you know, they look a certain way, and it's like, no. First, life is hard for everybody. Nobody get a pass, okay? Nobody gets a pass. It's hard for everybody out here. So the legacy that I do want to leave is that I want to be open and transparent about my struggles, and I want people to actually watch me grow and heal and mature through it. And that, in turn, will, you know, allow them to be inspired to do the same things with their life. Whatever they're going through, they'll see that I went through it, and I was able to write about it, think about it, and get healed from it, and they'll be able to do the same thing for themselves and the people around them.
And that's good. I'm glad you had brought that up because I know we be an advocate for cancer, diabetes, but never be an advocate for mental illness. And like I said, it does go in our community. And and people struggle with that from different things they have experienced in their life. And it could be tough for male or female. So I'm glad that you really big on that and being an advocate on that and getting that message across that mental illness is very serious because we do everything else besides tackle that in our community.
Definitely. Yeah, I wanna really start to get involved with like some events and stuff like that. Start traveling and really just because it's not a topic. I mean, I want to say in the past, maybe like 5 years, it's become, you know, we have people like a young little Fix My Life. She kind of sheds light, you know, on a lot of things as far as mental health. But as far as the Black community, we don't like to talk about that because, you know, you're looked at a certain way if you say, well, hey, I'm depressed. You know, especially when, you know, we're Christians, so it's a lot of times it's like, well, you can't be depressed and you believe in God. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, we don't believe that. Pray it away. But you still have to begin to talk about it and open up the door for that healing. So that, like I said, that you're able to just be a better person. When you have so much on you and you're dealing and walking around with all that on your shoulders every single day, that is a heavy load. And, you know, me as a mom, I notice that I'm not the best mother that I can be to my son if I'm walking around and I'm depressed and I'm holding in emotions that I could be talking about. And even when just on my Facebook, I would, you know, that the songs that I was singing wasn't a true reflection of what I was dealing with. I would deal with my depression silently behind closed doors, but I would be singing about love and other things, and that wasn't true. For this year, like I said, 2019 has been such a year of self-reflection, self-healing, self-love. I really can honestly say that I'm really starting to love who I am with everything else. When I said that before, like in past years and past interviews and stuff like that, it was more so like I love the great things about me, but now I'm really truly starting to love Q for everything, depression and all. Sad, lonely nights and all. Like, I love who I am, and I really want people to, like I said, people have been hitting me up, and they're saying, like, oh, I'm so glad you're talking about that, because I never would have thought you went through that, and I'm just glad that God is using me in that way, and I pray that I continue, that he continues to use me to do more and bring awareness to that, for sure.
Amen. And like I said, keep doing what you're doing. Cause I know in the book of James, it talks about confess your faults one to another, then pray that you may be healed, that the prayers of righteous man avail much. And that's good that you brought that up, because if you confess something you're going through, that's when the praying and that's when the healing starts taking place. Because only God can do the healing. We can't do it, only he can. But it only comes when we open our mouth. Like you said, you can't tell everybody, but it's somebody you can trust within that area in your life to say, hey, you know what, let's get together, let's pray about it, fast about it, and let God do his thing, and he will, because he is in the healing business.
Right. I agree. I definitely agree. And I want to say,
also,
I know that's hard. I'm a millennial. I'm considered a millennial. So it's just like with my generation or our generation, it's like we don't trust a lot of people. And I know that firsthand, especially with everything that I've endured. It's so hard for me to open up and talk about, things that I've, gone through, because we don't. And then we're in this social media era right now where it's just like, everybody has an opinion on everything. I mean, just everything, and we're so judgmental. We're so hurtful to each other. But I'm going to realize we're hurtful like that because we're hurt. Everybody's walking around with something. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want people to see through me. Like, I don't trust a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I don't hang with a bunch of friends. You know what I'm saying? I have just really me and my son. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard, but I want people to understand, like, you can't, even if you can't talk to nobody, you have to release it in some type of way. So whatever avenue you feel is necessary, do that, but it has to be through a positive outlet, because we don't want to be out here mistreating our kids or not being able to raise our kids right, or if we're in relationships and we're married, we're taking out our frustrations and our childhood traumas into our marriages and into our relationships and on our jobs, and you know what I'm saying? Like I said, that is a heavy, and I really did not realize how heavy it was until I laid that load down. Do you know what I'm saying? I laid it down.
Yeah.
I took it off. That backpack was too heavy for me. I was like, girl, like, no, I refuse to go another year. I can't do it no more. You know what I'm saying? That was such a freeing thing, and I can't wait to release the music that I'm about to release, because, Lord Jesus, I just know it's going to help so many people, because I'm being authentic. Not to say that I wasn't, like I was being fake before, but like I said, the music that I was putting out wasn't really truly representing the path that I was on at that point. Like, I was just going to sing such happy songs, but go home and cry. You know what I'm saying? Want to be about it. That's not. I want people to really see like what it really is, and just be able to talk to people. So, like I said, I want to get hooked up with some events and organizations that really focus on that, because we have to start the conversation. And not only start the conversation, continue the conversation about mental health, and see that our brothers and sisters are getting the help that they need, so that we can be, where we should be as a people, because we're definitely at that place right now. You know what I'm saying? So.
I know what you're saying, and I said just keep doing what you're doing. I know you're doing a lot of major things. I know this off the record. Explain to everybody about your YouTube channel. I checked out your channel. I strive to your page. I know you talk about a lot of different things. You talk about things that people think but don't say it. Can I say that?
Yeah.
In a way?
Yeah.
Explain to everybody how they can, get onto your YouTube channel. Explain the things you talk about, and 'cause I know a lot of people always like, wow, she's bringing this stuff up. So it's fine to see somebody actually talk about these things. So how did that come about with your YouTube channel?
Well, I actually started my YouTube channel like 2019, so 6 years ago. I started my YouTube channel in 2012 or 13. I think 2012. And a lot of people don't know I went to school for makeup and skincare back in Mobile in 2014. So before I went to school for it, I was trying to do like little makeup tutorials. Like, makeup was like my side piece, if you want to say it like that, to music. Music is what I've always wanted to do, But I felt like a lot of reasons I wouldn't make it, or so many people doing it. Let me just try to do something else, and I found makeup. So that's what I originally got on YouTube to do, was like beauty. It was gonna be a beauty channel. But then as life kept going, I went through so much. Like my life is literally a movie, and this is the year I'm finally gonna start unraveling a lot of pieces to the puzzle that a lot of people don't know or may assume or have heard, don't know the full story. You know what I'm saying? So I recently, like a week ago, I want to say, started going really hard with the YouTube channel. But over the years, I've been posting music. I have my full first project is on there. So people can go check that out. It's old now, child, but you can go listen to it. And also my new project is Trance, my second EP. That one is on all streaming platforms, so people can check it out on YouTube and all streaming platforms like Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, and other places like that. But I'm about to start just opening up through music and on my YouTube channel, because I want a lot of people are friends with me on Facebook. They follow me on Instagram. They don't really know my personality. They just see the pictures and stuff like that, like, oh, she's or whatever, but they don't know, who I really am. And I feel like YouTube is a great avenue for you to show your personality and open up and show people. A lot of people right in after I did those couple of videos, like last week, they were like, oh, I didn't know you was that funny and da-da-da. Like, yes, I love to laugh, child, first of all, okay? We can do that. I love to laugh. So, people can just please go subscribe, what I'm saying, y'all. Go subscribe to my channel, Tuesday. I have a lot of good things coming. Like I said, new music and just other things. And people can feel free to write me or DM me on social media and tell me what videos they want to see from me. I'm open to that, too. So, yeah, it's just fun. YouTube is fun. It's definitely fun. And it's an outlet for sure. So I've noticed a lot of times when I'm feeling away, I'm kind of getting down to fight that depression. Like I said, I'm living in Washington, D.C. Since January, and I went through so much with that. That's another story for another time. Probably put that on YouTube. But whenever I feel like I'm getting down, I just record a video or do something and it brings my spirits back up, because I'm laughing and I'm able to connect with people who want to hear from me and care what I have to say. So yeah, I love YouTube.
Awesome. And like I said, look how God really gave us avenues with technology. You don't have to. You just do stuff from your home. It's just how God gave us that power of social media and different outlets and things like that. I know we got 2 minutes left in the broadcast. So, do you have any final remarks, any words of advice to an up and coming artist or someone who may went through that experience of being molested the way you was at the age that you experienced that? They may be going through that right now. What advice would you give to them?
It's so much. I'm gonna try to sum it up. You said 2 minutes. Okay, let me try to make this real quick.
Yeah.
I want to say, as far as the whole sexual abuse thing, I realize that it's so many people, like the same thing with mental health. There's so many people that you pass every day, on your day to day that have been through this. It doesn't have a face, and I want people to know, if you've been through that experience, that it wasn't your fault. I feel like that's the first thing that you have to know. I know a lot of people like to tell people that when they've been through stuff like that, and it's hard to hear it when you're the person that's actually in the situation. But it's seriously not your fault. You have to forgive yourself, and just then forgive the person that violated you. You have to let that go. Because like I said, it's a heavy load. You don't want to carry that throughout your life. Find people around you that are positive and that are going to pour positivity in life into you. I feel like that's another super important thing, because it doesn't make sense to really do all of this healing and you surround yourself with negative people who speak death upon you, or speak negativity to you. And then you just in a hamster wheel. You're just going round and around, and you're growing, but then you're falling back into the trap. Growing and you're falling back. So yeah, forgive yourself, forgive people who have wronged you. Surround yourself with positive people and people who want to listen to music. Have passion. I always say that every time I'm asked that question. You have to have a passion for this, because it's hard. So we know that the devil was the minister of music, so this is his territory that we work in. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it could go either way. You can either add to all the hell that's going on, or you can use your platform to speak life and raise awareness and do things like that. So yeah, overall though, with anybody who's listening and watching on live now, just wake every day and try to be a good person. I'm very big in what you put out, you get back. You know what I'm saying? And if I've wronged anybody, I'm sorry and forgive me. Because I don't want to walk around. I can't take it. That's what I told myself at the beginning of the year. Like, I'm not going another year holding on to nothing. Like, I don't got beef with nobody but
Right.
the devil, period. Like, at all.
Amen.
Like, I'm not trying to do none of that. So I want a clean heart, child. I just want to laugh and be happy. Ain't nobody got time for the depression and stuff. Let's get help. Let's get rid of that. Stuff like that. So,
That's true.
That's it.
That's true. And I appreciate you taking time to be the schedule to be a part of Impact Voice. Like I said, we'll be watching your YouTube channel, of course. Keep doing what you're doing. And like I said, keep doing what you're doing. And I know God got great things in store for you, which you already know that. So keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, for sure.
Amen.
For sure.
Amen. So we want everybody to have a great weekend. Y'all enjoy this beautiful weather. If you're in the city of Mobile, it's hot outside, of course. But hey, y'all stay cool. Stay hydrated. Don't do crazy stuff. So we'll see y'all Sunday here on Impact Voice with my next guest, Jazzy Red. So yeah, y'all have a blessed weekend. Love y'all. Be blessed. Peace.